Welcome back, Rage Nation. We are going to do something a little different today. What we're going to do is we're going to start showing you how to unpack some of these crews that I play, just so people that are interested in the keyword can figure out how to unpack their crew a little better. And if you play against them, you can kind of see what they do to start off the game. So it gives you some idea of what you're going into. So I'm going to show you Sandeep Font of Magic first because he is one of my favorite masters, and I think he is very dynamic. Before we get into that, though, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel and the video. And if you want to get more content, we have the Discord link below, as well as our Patreon and affiliate link for you to check out. So thanks for any support that you give us. We love everybody helping us out. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and show you this unpack. I know Jesse from Boring Conversation had a similar idea, and I beat him to the punch. So haha, no, I've been planning on doing this for a bit, actually. Great minds do tend to think alike. So I'm going to show you this list first. This is just a common kind of Sandeep list. So looking at it, I'm going to go through it. You can switch out the golems as you want, the gammons, and Cassandra, but the rest of it's just kind of a good core. So we have Sandeep Font of Magic with Banasuva. I always put the Soulstone Cache on Banasuva just because he tends to get sniped out if you don't put that on him. Got the Shastar Guard with Magical Training. You could switch that out. I don't, because I think it's a really good model. You'll see part of that in the unpack. Kandara is going to try to help us put Staggered out and also get us some cards. Four Winds Golem is a beast. It dunks models, helps move your crew around, and you put the cash on it because you like getting soul stones and keeping the golem alive. And then you have the Ice Golem. That tends to be the beater that people like bringing, but the other two are good as well. And then an Ice Gammon, which, as you can see from this video, hopefully won't be an Ice Gammon for very long. All right, so we'll go ahead and do two openings for this. So I'll show you the first one, which is the aggressive unpack with Sandeep. And then the second one will be kind of a normal one. So with this one, we can see that our opponent Hoffman has bunched up. And when you see that, you want to punish that as quickly as possible. So I'm going to show you what happens if you get first turn, first activation, and your opponent has bunched up like this. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to flip. You can see my cards on the top right. So we'll say that my opponent flipped a 1 and he's not going to cheat, or she's not going to cheat. So I end up getting first activation, and they think they're safe. You know, we're in standard, nobody's moved. It doesn't seem like there's anything crazy going on here. So we are going to show you how they are wrong. So I'm going to go with Sandeep because, like I said, this is where I'm going to punish him. And let's make sure we get our shielded out for everybody that has it. There we go. So notice my hand. It's an okay hand, but it's actually a really good hand for Sandeep because I have some low cards to discard, and I have a high card for defending myself or getting, you know, a really spiky hit at the end. So I'm going to start with Sandeep. I'm going to say I'm going to discard this card for Students of All, because remember, Sandeep is an elemental now. So Sandeep's just going to be like all elementally and have Banasuva toss him. So he's going to toss him out of activation, which is really good. There's no target number, so that goes off. So all I'm going to do is Sandeep's big thing is a 10-inch range. So we're going to put up 10 inches because we want to make sure we can do this. And then we are going to get thrown or tossed 10 inches. So we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we're already in the middle of the board. And what we're going to do next is we're just going to rain some fire down. So all I'm going to do is just do 3 Aetheric controls. So I'm going to try to get the first one to go off. You just need a 5 for this to go. So ideally, I hope I don't have to cheat any of these, but I probably will have to cheat some. So the first one does not go off, so we are going to cheat in this 5. So we are going to choose the Pyre marker. It's the best one for the aggressive play. It really sets your opponent back, hopefully puts burning out, and at minimum, it's going to put fire underneath their feet. So, and these have a 2-inch shockwave. So we're going to place it right about, see if we can live the dream. We can't quite live the dream. So in this situation, I would probably put it where it's going to hit and you have to have line of sight to it, where it's going to hit these people over here. So all these people would take shockwave tests. So we'll say Howard failed it. It gives out burning 2. No damage, just burning 2, which is actually, sorry, I think it does give out damage. Been a bit since yeah, 2. So we're going to ping him for 1. We'll say he failed. Ping him for 1. He passed. We'll say Joss failed. Pings for 1. And we'll say Hoffman miraculously passed. So all those people, you know, some passed, some didn't. We have some people on fire. We're going to do it again, though. So we're going to go ahead and try to do another Aetheric control. Need a 5. Got it this time without cheating, which is great. We are going to, this time, you could put it in the same spot, but this time I want to spread the love a little bit. So I'm going to put it right underneath here. And it's going to hit everybody but Howard this time. So we'll say this time the hunter passed. We'll say Melissa didn't quite pass, so she'll take 1. We'll say the mechanical took 1 as well. And then we'll say Hoffman took it this turn as well, because he's a little slow. Okay, and then we'll do it one more time. Okay, once again, got to cheat that time. This is worth cheating your low cards. It'll stink for some of your further activations, but it's fine. So this one, I'm just going to put it right about here. I'm not worried about that hunter. If I wanted to try to get him to do it, I could, but I'm more about just clunking up this kind of middle area. So we'll put it right there. And we'll say Howard failed again. We'll say this guy failed again. We'll say Hoffman failed again. And we'll say Melissa failed again. Now, you can see that this is just off of 1. And you can see how much burning is put out on this. I mean, we have 4 burning on one model. We have 4 burning on another. We have some ping damage. I mean, the little dudes are almost dead. So just a lot of things going on. Now, they can clear conditions. They can assist. And that's all great. But then that's actions of them responding to what you're doing. Now, every action they do, they're getting more burning. So, I mean, by the end of this activation, and I'm not done yet, at the end of this activation, these models might have, 6, 7, 8 burning, some of them. So, and then Sandeep's going to do his bonus. So this is where I kind of think, do I want to move Sandeep back? Or do I want to transform this Ice Gammon down here into a Wind Gammon? I think the smart thing to do, because this is a quick crew, I mean, they can give out fast, they can start punishing, is to use the bonus Moment of Reflection. So in this situation, I would just do Moment of Reflection on Sandeep himself. So I need a 4 for this to go off. So we are going to flip. Hopefully I don't have to cheat this, ideally. Hey, the red Joker is going to come up on minor things with Sandeep. Don't freak out when it does, it usually happens. So it has a built-in trigger. So all we're going to do is just move back 1, 2, and then we get the trigger, so we get to do it again. Some high cards, but that's okay. That's just a Sandeep thing. Okay, so then we're going to go back another 2. Boop, boop. So put some distance between us and them. That way, if they want to be aggressive, they'll have to overextend now. Melissa could go, and could get a couple shots in Sandeep. We have enough stones and stuff to help us out. We have shielded, and we have enough healing in the crew that's fine. Okay. So like I said, I'm not going to go with what my opponent's going to respond with. I'm just going to go to my next model. So Sandeep is done. Next, what I usually do is I go with Banasuva, just because in this situation, I could, reposition Sandeep a little bit. I could move my models around, and that's kind of what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Banasuva. We are going to discard a card to have, is that what I want to do? I don't know. Because in this situation, we don't have a ton of cards, but I'm going to probably do it because I got 3 more I could do. Yeah, let's just do it just for the sake of the video. Maybe we'll draw more cards. So I'm going to discard to have the Ice Golem concentrate. So when he concentrates, that's going to put an ice pillar down. Are we within 6 of Sandeep? We are, so that means we get to push the ice pillar. So we'll just move it up. And then we also get a 2-inch push from the Shastar, which will be a 1 because I don't ignore this terrain. And then I get to look at the top card of the Fate deck. If it's a tome, I draw it. It is a 12. So I will go ahead and do... we'll do with Banasuva. Here we go. So now we're going to do Lord of the Elements, Banasuva onto the Four Winds Golem. We know it's going to go off because there is a 12. We're going to have the Four Winds Golem concentrate. He can't see Sandeep, which is fine, but we are going to get the demise from Banasuva. I am going to... I think I'll just place Kandara up. We'll place her up to here. We will get a 2-inch push. So we got the demise, got the 2-inch push, and then we'll look at a card. It is not a tome. And then I am going to toss the Shastar. Remember, we don't need a TN for this, so it's just going to go off with this low card, which is great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I think honestly we probably just go ahead and concentrate with Banasuva. My last action. So you get to look at a card because of Kandara. Get to push 2. And I think for the sake of things, oops, got to copy that. We just put an ice pillar down, and then we just push it over to around there. And that's Banasuva. Now, if I was playing in like a real game against Hoffman, I probably wouldn't be this bunched up just because of Melissa's kind of blasts and stuff. But since I'm not responding to my opponent, I'll just do it. In this situation, then, I'd probably go with my Wind Golem. So I'm going to concentrate. And then when I do that, I get to place my chunky boy. We'll chunk him up to here. Notice just the movement of the ice golem, just really good. I also get chi with all this concentrate, so I'm gonna have 3 chi with the golem here. We're gonna push an inch up. Let's see here, and then I look at the top card. Not a tome. I think this is the shuffler just being crap because you notice it's all the same suits. So that's fine. I probably would have drawn at least 1 or 2 tomes by now looking at this many cards. But like I said, since the shuffler is crap, it's what it is. But you can see how many cards at least I'm looking at. All right, so we will go ahead and at this point we did the concentrate. I would do a leap at this point. So knowing that that card's going to fail and that I don't want to cheat, I would use one of my chi to get a positive for the leap. So it is going to go off. So I would leap. And I'd probably leap up to here. So depending on the situation, I could leap up to here, or I could leap over to the flank. In this case, I'm going to leap over to the flank just because, you know, maybe I'm just trying to jockey for position here. And if somebody got too close, like let's say Louisa or somebody crept up, I could just charge and then toss them into my crew and get ready to beat the crap out of them. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. So yeah. We'll say I did an attack or something, or I moved, but I'm just going to stay there for now because, once again, I'm not responding to my opponent. So he is done. So next, I would probably go with the Ice Gammon. You could go with the Ice Gammon before, just to waste an activation. So in this situation, I would just kind of move up to here, concentrate, And when I do so, we get to look at the top card. That one is a tome. You do have to show it to your opponent. And then you draw it. And then we'll just say I kind of push to here. Just kind of try to hide him so he doesn't get taken off the board, because ideally we want him to be a windgammon. There would be another ice pillar right about here. And then I would push this one up with Sandeep. And then ice gammon's done. And then we have the Shastar guard. Let's just say I want to jockey something loose or move something up. We'll just move Kandara up to with, I guess I got my Students of All. And we've already done Students of All on you, on you. So let's say I want to get another pyre, or yeah, let's just say I want to get another pyre down. So I'm going to discard this 6 to have Sandeep do Aetheric Control again, because we haven't done it with him yet. So Sandeep's going to try to do Aetheric Control. It goes off. Now, it doesn't go, line of sight and distance isn't measured from Sandeep, actually. It's actually measured from the Shastar. If I can get his aura to show up. There we go. So I would basically be doing this because, you know, they're going to move up. So let's just say we put another one right here. So any model that's in there is now taking the test again, taking burning again, and it's here at kind of this choke point. I do have line of sight where I could also toss it over here, or I could toss it over here. So let's just put it here, and we'll say some crew took it. It's good. Okay, so that's not even an action. That's just Student of All Aetheric Control from Sandeep doing stuff. So now the guard's going to have one of his models move. We're going to say off the path to, sorry, it's not, I don't think it's called off the path. Follow my path. There we go. We're going to follow my path, just the ice golem, just to move him up more. Don't want to move him up too much. You want to kind of keep in range of your stuff. And then we will go ahead and concentrate with the Shastar guard, because we do want to make sure we have Know the Warrior up. And then I'm just going to move with him. I'm just going to move with my movement 5 to 3, 4, 5. And that'll be him. And then we have Kandara. Let's see here. We did already do the golem. Did the golem good Sandeep? Okay, student of all that. That's fine. So Kandara is not going to discard for that. I think what we would do, though, is we would concentrate with Kandara for one of her actions in this situation. Look at the top card. Not that. That's a good card just to keep there. We'll push an inch. She doesn't have a demise, so that doesn't matter. She can move this ice pillar, though, so there was an ice pillar over here. So let's say this ice pillar, we'll just say we move it up to here. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, perfect. Perfect. She'll push an inch. Actually, I already pushed an inch. And then that's kind of her. So I concentrated. I could stagger something if it was in range. Maybe there is in this situation. But honestly, I probably just kind of like where she is. Maybe I drop a scheme marker just to counter some of the scheming abilities. And that's kind of what I would do with her. And then the last activation is going to most of the time be your ice golem over here. So the ice golem is just going to go smash stuff. You have an ice pillar. So hopefully at this point, maybe your opponent got overeager and maybe they threw something into him. If they do that, this model over here is probably just dead. So we got to focus on it. If we really needed to at this point, like let's say, does he have a 2-inch reach? He does. So let's say he got Howard in here at 2 inches. I mean, that's fine, because then you can just concentrate with the ice golem, and then you can just push an inch to get within an inch. And then if you look, when you concentrated, you also got to move this up. So now I have an ice pillar that's just kind of sitting next to me, so I have my built-in rams. And then I just go ahead and smack Howard. I probably hit him with this ram. It would be a different card, but that's fine. So I hit him with that with my second action. We'll say we used a focus, so we actually get another card. So it's going to be this 11. So let's say we got a straight hit on him. Perfect. So that's just, you know, a straight hit for a cool, what, 7 damage. We'll say that, let's see here. So that's going to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because he's not a henchman. And then we'll go ahead and flurry. Use my other focus. Boop, there we go. Use my other focus, 2 cards. Cool, great. Still going to take the +1 damage because the slow doesn't matter. We'll say this one got put to a negative. We'll say he matched us miraculously. Still going to be a, what's that, 5 damage? Yep, which will kill him. So if they're silly enough to bring a model near the Ice Golem before it's ready to activate, even if they engage it with a 2-inch reach model, it has a very realistic shot of killing whatever it goes into. So that was the aggressive unpack. So you can see we put out a lot of fire. There's going to be a lot of models taking fire damage. They have clearing conditions with the, I think, mechanical attendant can clear something. They can assist some of it off, but they're taking fire damage. They don't have any way to get rid of those because they're playing Hoffman 1, so the pyro markers are just there. So yeah, they're in a bad spot here for sure. And then I'll go ahead and show you the more just regular kind of unpack, the one where you're not just trying to slam your opponent turn 1. All right, so this is going to be more of your like actual unpack. So this is going to be more your opponent's playing conservative, you're playing conservative. You don't want to overextend, they don't want to overextend. So we'll go ahead and go over what that unpack looks like, just so you can get an idea. So I'll say that I go second, because if I am telling the truth, I'm usually going second unless I want to unload like the previous part. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with Banasuva. So make sure I have my shielded out. I do. So Banasuva is going to start by having the discarding a card. So we'll discard this for Student for All to have the Ice Golem concentrate. And I do want to change this up a little bit because I want to make sure the Ice Golem can see the Shastar guard. We're going to tome into the forest. Move everybody back off the line just so the Ice Golem can see the Shastar guard. So we're going to concentrate. When he does that, we're going to push 2. We're going to put an Ice Pillar down, which we can then push 3. We're going to look at the top card. It's not a tome, so we're not going to draw it. And then got that. Okay, good. So the Banasuva, since we know that's a low card, I'm going to toss my Shastar guard. Goes off because we don't need a target number. And that's the benefit of like looking at these cards. Is like, that's a low card. Let me just toss somebody. So we're going to just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not do the full 10. I just want him kind of there. And then we'll go ahead and do. We'll go ahead and toss Sandeep up a little bit. This is just for some movement. It's not gonna toss him the whole way. So I just want to toss him a little bit. Good toss guard. Good toss guard. You'll have to toss me. 4, 5. So I'm going to put him up to there just so I can see through this area and I can see this area. You want as much line of sight with Sandeep as you can. So I think that's a good position to be in. And if they want to start overextending to try and deal with him, I have a lot of answers. Then I'm going to do Lord of the Elements, do this onto the Wind Golem. Goes off. We're going to have him concentrate. Let's see here. So we're going to look at the top card. Not a tome. We will place Kandara 4 inches where she currently is. We'll just throw her over to here. And that is going to be Banasuva. I guess we get to look at a card, so we'll look at a card too. Still not a tome. I wish I drew that 12 tomes there. That'd been nice. Okay. So after Banasuva, I have some options. Once again, if I think I have where I can hit 3 or 4 models, I'll activate Sandeep. It doesn't quite look like that. Nope. So I wouldn't activate Sandeep in this point. I would probably activate like my Shastar guard. So we did discard to have him concentrate. I think I'll go with Kandara actually. So I'll discard a card. Then this is where I can't see Sandeep, so I can't place him. But I will place my big icy boy, probably like up here. Just to kind of threaten that, jockey that, maybe invite somebody into. Joss is all the way over here, so I'm not too scared of irreducible damage at this point. So if Joss was up here or up here, I wouldn't have brought him up here. But trying to invite somebody up to maybe engage this ice golem. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and at this point I do have chi. I did get to look at a card. Let's see here, and then Kandara is going to concentrate. She'll look at a card. Nope. And honestly, we'll just bump Kandara over to here, staying within 6. Just kind of keeping her available to attack anything over here. And then I'm going to go with the wind golem. So I'm going to just move to here because I want to still be able to see Kandara. And then I will concentrate. I will move over to here. We'll look at top card, not a tome, which I already knew. And then we'll place, let's just say we want to place Sandeep in a more forward location to here. And then we can also place this ice pillar up to here. Okay. And we have a leap. I'm not going to do it. Actually, I will because I want to get rid of that card that we just saw. So we'll leap. He leapt. We'll just kind of solidify it to like here. Okay, done there. And then I would go with the Shastar guard here. Let's see here. Wind Golem already did that. So with the Shastar guard, I will discard a card to have Sandeep do Aetheric Control, because there should be stuff in range, and that's fine. That's going to happen on random flips. That's actually a better spot for it to be. We will follow my path onto Banasuva. We will concentrate, and we will drop a scheme marker just because, try to deny maybe one of the schemes in the pool. I don't feel like moving him anywhere. It just kind of clunk it up. And sometimes you're going to have that, and that's fine. So let's just say that at this point, Kandara did go. He did go. So at this point, I have the Shastar, or the Sandeep 2, and I have the Ice Golem. So this is where I can decide, okay, you know, what do I want to do here, right? So at this point, I think this would be a good point for Sandeep to go. If they're engaging Sandeep, I do have ways to back him out, mainly with his bonus. But I'll go with Sandeep first. I'm not going to discard a card because I don't think Kandara needs to do anything. And Banasuva, I could toss. I also could do Breath of Fire. So I have with Student of All, I do have some options there. But like I said, since I can't see what my opponent's reacting to, I'm not going to act like I am. Just know that I have a card I can discard for Students of All to do one of Banasuva's actions, or even Kandara's. I could do Kandara's action to throw knives with her throwing knife, and there's a built-in stat 7 stagger trigger. So if they were really kind of like, which they might be like right up here, right? I could go ahead and discard to throw a dagger from Sandeep, stagger half of his stuff, and then throw down a bunch of pyro markers. So that's probably what I would do. So just kind of keep that in your back pocket if you bring Kandara. You also have Breath of Fire and Toss for if Sandeep kind of gets in trouble. And I usually do leave Banasuva's ability to be affected for Student of All. I usually do leave that for Sandeep because it's big. I have used it to go scheme with Kandara or the Shastar Guard, so just keep that in mind as well. So anyways, Sandeep, we'll go ahead and probably first we're going to try to switch this Ice Gammon into a Wind Gammon with his bonus action. It has a built-in mask for it. Goes off. So we're going to replace this with this. Sorry, first we get the action. So we'll just say we move him to, and then we switch him out for Wind Gammon. Boop, boop, boop. Yep. So we saved, what, 2 soul stones by hiring an Ice Gammon, and now it's a Wind Gammon. Notice I didn't activate it yet, so that way I can basically place the Ice Golem wherever I need to. So that's the main reason why I haven't activated the Ice Gammon, because I want to be able to move the Ice Golem around with the new Wind Gammon. So Sandeep is then going to do Aetheric Control. Red Jokered it. I think I did that. We're just going to do this 3 times because that's what it's going to be. Cheat in that. And then cheat in. Yep, I need a 5, so that'll go there. And then we can put these pyro markers within 10. So we'll put 1 there. We'll say they moved up a little bit. We'll put 1 there. And we'll say we threw 1 over here, because they had somebody who really is trying to outflank us. So you can see kind of the spread and just how much area you can affect, especially when you go 2 inches off of these. Like 2 inches off, I mean, oh, sorry, I can't quite get that one there because you have to have line of sight. So let's say we put it there, because you have to have line of sight to where you drop the shockwaves. So you can see, even without not even moving fully, still almost impacting that. I'm impacting more than half the board, and that's just kind of Sandeep, right? So we'll say some stuff's on fire, stuffs are standing in pyro markers. It's a good time. Sandeep's done. Okay, and then second to last activation, I go with my Wind Gammon. We are going to go to there. We are going to concentrate. We're going to look at top card, not a tome. That's a good one to keep there, though. So knowing that's a 13, I'm not going to leap, because I want to keep that hopefully for either a defensive flip or for my Ice Golem to use. We'll say we're going to place the Ice Golem up to here. And I guess I get a 2-inch push, so we'll push over to here. And yeah, we'll call that good. And then the Ice Golem's just there to wreck fire on something, whether it's to move, punch something. If something's trying to come into my crew, punch them to death. So the Ice Golem's just there to do that at the end of the activation. And notice, once again, I held that to the end. So Ice Golem's going to try to go probably close to last turn 1. And going into turn 2, if I'm already into something or can get to something, I might activate the Ice Golem first. Keep in mind also, if something gets into Sandeep, I can Student Evolve to punch something with the Ice Golem through Sandeep. So that's also an option. So there's just a lot of flexibility with this crew. And this isn't even an optimal play. This is just me kind of moving some models around to show you how to kind of move and unpack and keep your crew in its kind of loose bubble that you want to keep it in. So hopefully you guys got a lot of good ideas out of that. Hopefully you see how mobile this crew can be. And I think that, yeah, with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed it. Make sure that you guys are flipping cards, flipping tables, and we'll see you all next time.